Hello, everyone. Let's start by logging into Clever. All right, so let's do a quick stress check. How are we feeling today? Are we in a good space and ready to work and focus? Are we somewhere in the middle? Or are we down here really, really struggling? So, this is week 18, the last week of semester one. Holy cow. This is lesson 34, where we are going to be introducing and working through our understanding of what the semester one mastery assignment is. So some big things. First of all, make sure that you're checking assignments and grades on Google Classroom as well as grades on Infinite Campus. As of today, I will have worked through everybody's grades and updated them with makeup work from over the break as well as from this last week. So make sure you're checking that. Make sure you're checking Edpuzzle for comments and for grades there. Remember our expectations. Remember how the goal is for you to come to live lessons, so try and get there and participate. The big things to talk about today are makeup work. So the makeup work deadline was on this last Sunday, the 10th. So stuff from weeks 1 through 16, so everything before the holiday break, the winter break, is no longer being accepted. So if you're completing and turning in those assignments, I am no longer going to be grading them. If there's stuff from last week that you didn't get done, you can go ahead and do that to help try and get your grade up. But I am no longer accepting makeup work from the beginning of the semester because I do not have time to continue grading all of that. At this point, the way that you can improve your grade is through this mastery assignment. Then that's what we're spending our lesson on today. It's a lesson, or it's an assignment that covers all of the big stuff that we've talked about in the last like 10 weeks. So everything essentially compressed into from unit 2. And if you complete it correctly, fully, and up to a proficiency level that I set, it will automatically increase your grade 1 letter. So if you have a U, it will take you to a D. If you have a C, it will take you to a B. If you have a B, it will take you all the way up to an A. We're going to be going through that in detail today, and it is due by the end of the week on Sunday, January 17th. So I'm really, really going to push and start emailing and communicating with you and any or your parents or guardians that this is your chance to bring your grade up. No matter what has gone on the rest of the semester, if you do this, this will ensure that you can pass or that you can get the grade that you want. I want to let you know about an extra help opportunity. It's called NTI ELT Wish. It's lots of letters. All it really is an opportunity for you to get some one-on-one help and instruction from any of your teachers. So from if you need help from me in your science class, or if you need help from a math teacher or an English teacher, or if you want to get some help, I help somebody out with math, even though I don't teach math. And it was kind of helpful for her to get someone else talking her through how to do something that isn't her regular math teacher. Wednesdays and Fridays, it's from 1 to 2. You can come for just a bit of it, or you can stay for all of it, as much help as you need. I'll share the link on Wednesday and Friday before that happens. So this week, there's not a lot in our lesson frame. We're really just wrapping things up from semester 1 and showing that we have mastered those skills and standards. There's only 2 assignments. The preview that hopefully you've already done, and then the mastery assignment that we're going to work through today. Thank you guys for showing up and being here. Let's get to work by opening up a periodic table, just having that ready for us on the side. So your warm-up, what I'd like you guys to do is to rank yourself on these 4 topics that we've talked about: calculating protons, electrons, and neutrons, drawing a Bohr model, using the periodic table, drawing Lewis dot diagrams, and bonding. And I want you to rate yourself on this scale. 4 is exemplary, which means like you're above and beyond, like you get it, you mastered it, and you could do more with it. Proficient means you are right where you need to be. Developing means that you need a little bit more work, but you get the basic ideas. And emerging means that you need some pretty intensive work to figure it out. So rank yourself on these 4 major topics. All right, so the semester 1 mastery assignment has you show and practice mastery of all 5 of those key topics. Again, if you do this and you do this well, it will improve your grade a whole letter. So even if you've really not been doing much, if you do this, it shows that you know the stuff and you've put in the work. and deserve to pass. Okay. So the instructions will look something like this. The instruction slides will all have a blue banner like this. So when you look through all of them, the blue banner ones are the instructions. The green slides are examples. So I do an example for you to kind of help you remember. And then the white slides are the ones that you have to do. So there are 6 steps to this. First step is easy enough. You just choose 2 elements. Then you're going to calculate the proton, electron, and neutrons for each of those elements. Then you're going to draw the Bohr model for those elements. Then you're going to use the periodic table to identify properties for each of the elements. Then you're going to draw a Lewis diagram for each of the elements. And then you're going to determine what type of bond occurs between those 2 elements that you chose. So here's a link to that. You can go and look at it. It is also already posted. You might have yours open on Google Classroom and start looking through it. But take a moment to find and just take a look. All right, so the first step is you're going to choose 2 elements. You need to choose from the elements listed. Do not choose, if you choose element 1 and you choose something besides this, we're going to have problems. If you choose element 2, if you choose something besides those 5 options there, it can be any combination. You can do Na and O, you could do O and O, you could do Na and N, you could do Cl and Al. It doesn't, any combination of these will work just fine. But if you do something outside of the chosen options, then things might get a little messed up, okay? The first thing you're going to do is calculate the protons, electrons, and neutrons. Let's remind ourselves how we do that. So all you need to calculate protons, electrons, and neutrons is to take a look at the element card. This is on the periodic table. It shows the atomic number, the atomic mass, the name, the symbol. Those are the big things. So the atomic number of lithium, our example that we're going to go through for each of these is lithium, is 3. The atomic mass is 6.94. Now, we can't use that 6.94 because we need nice whole numbers. So if you will need to round this up to the nearest whole number. Remember, 0.5 and above rounds up, 0.4 and below stays the same. So 6.9 rounds up to 7. That's the number you're going to use here. The protons are the same as the atomic number, so that's 3. The electrons are the same as the protons, so that's 3. And then your neutrons, you take that rounded mass minus the protons to give you the neutrons. 7 minus 3 is 4. So the example you guys are going to be working through as we do this is for carbon. So I will go through and tell me the atomic number, mass, rounded mass, protons, electrons, and neutrons for carbon. Great. So the correct answer, atomic number is 6. Atomic mass is 12.011. Those are the easiest parts because they come directly from this card. We round that mass to 12 because 0.0 is less than 0.4, so we stay at that whole number. Our protons are the same as the atomic number, 6. The electrons are the same as the protons, 6. And then the neutrons are also 6 because that rounded mass, 12 minus 6 equals 6. Alrighty, so now we take that information and we build a Bohr model. So for lithium, our example of lithium, where we have all of that data written right here that we calculated before, our our number of protons that goes in the middle is 3. Our neutrons are 4. That's the first easy part. Now we have 3 electrons to place. Remember that the first shell, this inner shell here, can only hold 2 electrons. So anytime you have an element with more than 2 electrons, this element or this shell is going to be full. So if we have 3 electrons, we have to place all 3. 1, 2 will go in the first shell. We can't put any more there, but we can put our third last one in that outer shell. Checking on the periodic table, it might say on the element card this information that suggests there's 2 electrons in the first shell and 1 in the second shell. That's what we see here. We also can see that it's in the first column, which means it has 1 valence electron, and that's what we see here. So now, show me that you would know how to build the Bohr model of carbon. All right, so the Bohr model of carbon. I forgot to write that in there. That's my bad. But 6p and 6n. We have 6 electrons. You can only have 2 in the first shell. Once I put those 2 in there, I have to move on to the next shell. I have to get to 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 would be in that second shell. 4 valence electrons. It's in the 4th column. All right, so the next step is that you have to find some information about your element. So I gathered this information from pretty much all from the periodic table. You can also Google it. You can also look at it up on the internet somewhere. You'll be writing things down like the group number, the group name, the valence electrons, the rows, the shells. That all comes directly from the periodic table. You'll go and Google and find an image. That's what lithium looks like. From the periodic table, you also know that it's a metal because it's an alkali metal. And then there are three properties that I looked up while scrolling through the periodic table, or you can Google three properties of your element. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to spend just a second. I want three pieces of information. So you can do any three of these, but go to the periodic table or Google and gather three pieces of information about carbon, not about lithium, about carbon. Cool. So some things that you might have put. You might have put that carbon is in group 4 or 14 based on how you count. Those are the reactive nonmetals. It's not really a name, but that's what they'll call them. They have 4 valence electrons because it's in the 1, 2, skip all those, 3, 4, fourth column. It's in the 1, 2, second row, so it has 2 shells. There's an image that I literally copied and pasted. It is a reactive nonmetal, so it is a nonmetal. And then 3 properties. It's a brittle solid. It's either going to be in the form of graphite, which is what's found in your pencil and seen here, or diamonds, which would be in somebody's fancy jewelry. Carbon is also the building block of life because it can bond with all kinds of things. All right, we're getting towards the end here. So the next step is you'll draw the Lewis dot diagram. The Lewis dot diagram is simple enough. Once you find out what column it's in and how many valence electrons it has, all you do is put the element symbol and then a dot to represent each of those valence electrons. Lithium is in column 1, so that means it has 1 valence electron. Its symbol is Li, and then you put 1 dot. So let's see if we can determine what would carbon look like. Great. So carbon is in 1, 2, skip all these, 3, 4, the fourth column, so that means it has 4 valence electrons. Its symbol is C. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, noticing that we pair 1 on each side without having to pair them up because we don't have any more than 4. All right, so the last piece that you will be doing is that you have to figure out what type of bond is going to form. And as you remember from last week, we determined that by looking at the electronegativity difference. So you're going to be doing this process, everything before that, for two separate slides for 2 separate elements that you choose from. Then the last piece is you're going to say, what happens if these 2 try to bond? Okay, so lithium, and let's say that the other element that I was working with was nitrogen. You're going to fill out this chart. So lithium, if I literally just look on this here, it has an electronegativity of 1.0. Nitrogen is 3.0. Lithium's a metal. Nitrogen is a nonmetal. 3.0 minus 1.0 is 2.0. If I look at my chart here, 2.0 is bigger than 1.5. Therefore, it will be ionic. Okay, so now go through and try this on your own for carbon and hydrogen. What are their electronegativities? What types of elements are they? And then what is the electronegativity difference? All right, carbon is over here, 2.5. That's a nonmetal. Hydrogen, although it's on the left, it is also a nonmetal. It's a gas. It has an electronegativity of 2.1. 2.5 minus 2.1 is 0.4. That falls in this polar covalent range. Okay? So again, if you can do each of these steps of this process, you will have shown that you've met the standards, the major standards that we've covered in this semester, and will prove that you are proficient. It will improve your semester grade, your overall semester grade by 1 whole letter, no matter where you're at. Okay. Now realize that this will not hurt your grade. So if you're happy with where you're at, this isn't necessarily something you have to do. I'm encouraging everyone to do it though, to make sure that your grade is where you want it. So it is posted under this week 18 assignments as semester 1 mastery assignment. You should have your own copy of the slides. All right. So tell me, how are you feeling about how challenging or about this assignment? Do you think it's going to be just right? Are you feeling like it might be too hard for you, or is it way too easy and you're ready for more? Cool. All right. So, leaving you with this, please let me know if you have any questions about anything. Remember, there's ELT if you want to get some additional work in tomorrow. And I will see you in class later. Thanks, you all. Have a great day.